What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Fridays. So, today we're going to be, at the very least, probably getting through the last few battles of, well, okay, I'm not really sure last few is the right way to describe it. The remaining battles of Celica's route in Act 2. So, this will be at the bare minimum. I'm not certain if I'll save the Seabound Shrine for maybe the start of next episode or what, but we're at least going to take on Barth and then the other pirate encounters here. And I might end up splitting this up between 2 episodes just to make it a bit more manageable. That'll depend on how just the video length plays out. But for now, let's just jump straight into it and attack Barth's castle. Alright, so this map is interesting in that you don't actually need to talk to these units in order to be able to recruit them. You just need to keep them alive, or at least that's my understanding of it so far. Now, granted, I'm no expert on this game, but that's what it seems like to me based on just the cues presented in the game. So, it's also a defeat the boss chapter, so all we really need to do is kill Barth here. And then just fight our way through a bunch of pirates that are all basically the same. Now, alone, none of these pirates are that dangerous, but there's a pretty good amount of them. Like, there's 10 just in this area here, and then the 2 next to Barth here will go and try to attack these green units as well. Now, luckily, assuming we don't just sit on the boat, we should be able to get to Leon, Kamui, and Valbar without worrying about them dying, really. But, so the first time I was actually playing through this on, like, my first file, I thought that I had to talk to Valbar to recruit them, because that's how it usually works in Awakening, and Fates, which are the 2 games in the series that I've played the most of. And so it was a bit difficult, because they will basically fight, the enemies in this courtyard here, and then go to attack Barth. And because everyone's movement is pretty much the same, it was just impossible to catch up to him. But that shouldn't matter here. And yeah, so pretty straightforward overall. We've got the ship that we could potentially use as a bottleneck, but that's probably not advisable right now. It's probably better if we just go in and be careful who we send into their range, and make sure we have Jenny here to heal up. Unfortunately, we don't have Invoke on Jenny yet, which makes this a bit more difficult. So, Invoke on Jenny makes it so that you're able to summon a bunch of allied soldiers to fight for you. Now, they don't get EXP for Jenny when they kill things, and honestly, they're not really ideal to spam. But in situations like this, where you have a lot of enemies compared to units you have, and it's not really a very easy map to bottleneck and restrict who can attack what, having the soldiers there as targets is useful.
Are you the one they call Barth? I order you to halt your piracy and leave these waters at once.
Like that'll work.
I'll do no such thing, you shrill woman! No one enters the lair of the Pirate King and starts squawking orders from me! You see, lass?
But aren't you already there, Barth?
I'm not trying to reason with sea dogs. Your bold words from a fool man! Well, I'll put your steel to the test. Have at 'em, boys! Take the man's guts for garters, but leave the wench alive! I'll not have a single scratch on her! Ruins the sale price it to! Yar-har-ho! See what I mean?
Redemption is a lost cause for a man like you, Barth. Your reign as Pirate King ends here.
What's with
shift
in position?
Well, I'll be. Looks like another band has joined the fray.
Must be our lucky day. Splitting their forces in 2 should make Barth that much easier to defeat.
True, considering we are pretty outnumbered.
Because you're such an optimist. From where I'm standing, our odds look somewhere between grim and dire. What, you mean because we're horribly outnumbered?
True.
You two better stop gabbing like hens and start fighting like you want to live. Now, if we can take Barth out of the picture, his goons should scatter. So you know what to do, right, boys? Ignore the runts and take aim for Barth.
Yeah, that's
Talking
not exactly the best way to do
revenge
this.
on Barth for killing his family. Perhaps this is his crew. Let's advance with caution and try to aid their cause.
Alright, so...
Handle this.
One thing I noticed during that cutscene that I hadn't really thought of before, how is it that Barth and Celica are able to, like, have that little conversation from across the entire area? Like, wait, when did... Ugh, never mind. Barth is all the way over here in his, like, castle, and Celica's over here on a boat. How are they talking without, like, shouting to each other? But whatever, I suppose that's not really significant at the moment.
I'm ready for
So we're going to just... Okay, I feel like I should trade over the Silver Dagger to Saber, and honestly, I'm not really sure why he... Oh, that might be why. But I don't remember why I would have given Celica the Golden Dagger. Probably just to finish someone off last episode. But whatever. Alright, so for the most part, most of the enemies will come over and attack Saber, and we shouldn't have too much of a problem with that, but Saber will start to take some serious damage over time. However, I think a few of the enemies over on the left will start coming down on the boat if we're not careful. Yeah, so as you can kind of get an idea from this combat, any one attack from these guys isn't really substantial. Oh, that's actually a really good time to get that skill. But yeah, any one attack isn't really significant, but they can pile up if we're not careful. Also, it looks like the AI isn't behaving quite as I expected. Like, maybe it's just I positioned it differently than the last time I played through, but I expected more people to attack Saber on that turn.
I'll do what everyone paid to.
Okay, so this is where things start to get a bit tricky. Because, again, individually, they're pretty much harmless, but combined, these guys could do some nice damage to us. And by nice, I mean a lot of, well, significant, I should say. Alright, how much damage does May do to one of them? Okay, so May can one-shot them, we'll have her do that then. Well, one round, I should say, not one shot. We could have still gotten screwed by the RNG.
Stopping me here. Huh? Was that a mosquito?
No, but it was a bad level up. Alright,
Somebody's eager.
okay, Bowie can also do some nice, or some substantial damage, which is going to be pretty useful here. Alright, we can have Saber use Plenitude. I don't think that gives him Might, but it raises his accuracy and gives him... Effectively, it's the soul skill from Awakening, except it heals you for, I think, all the damage dealt? Yeah, restores HP equal to damage dealt. However, in this situation, it cuts the damage we deal significantly enough that it's not worth using. Let's see, is it worth... Ooh. If I shift Jenny over here, does she get extra accuracy? Yes, she does. Okay, so... Saber has enough health for now, so I think I'm gonna try to have Jenny get this kill. Or, at least, weaken this guy like a bunch, is the point.
I think I'm getting stronger.
Wait, hang on, I do have a shield on her, right? Uh-oh, that's a problem. Okay, so... apparently, I haven't really done very much item management, so it's time to do a bit of that. So we're gonna give Jenny the leather shield, because her defense is terrible without it. And then we're gonna have Celica attack this one, and then I think we are gonna have Bowie finish him. Oh,
I'm not about to stop here.
never mind. I was gonna say we're gonna have Bowie finish off that guy, but because Celica was able to get that kill, we don't need to. Ooh, a point of attack, that's good.
Blessing.
HP attack luck, that's not too bad.
To get better.
Alright, I think I'm gonna have Bowie just pick off this guy. shouldn't really matter. I do have the turn wheel if we get RNG screwed, because right now would be a decent time to use it. Also, it resets between each movement on the map, so it doesn't really matter. Well, to be fair, Bowie could use the speed, and Thunder is pretty worthful. Worthful? Wow, I apparently can't speak English. Pretty useful, I should say. It's got some nice range, and it deals a little bit more damage than fire, although it also lacks some accuracy compared to fire. Alright, I don't think another one of them can attack May, and if they can't... Yeah, no, they can't attack him. Or her. Which is good, because that means we're safe for now. Wait, why is the one that just got wounded running away down towards the... Oh, he must have realized that that's where the closest supplies were. Not that it matters. Alright. So Valbar and his, I guess you could almost call them retainers, but they're, I guess friends is the right word. Valbar and his allies are pretty useful, actually. Kamui is a pretty good mercenary. He's got high attack, good speed, and just good stats for dealing some physical damage, although he's not that tanky. Valbar himself has fantastic attack and defense, but pretty much terrible everything else. But considering that most enemies at this point in the game are physical, his high defense is all that really matters. And then Leon also has good attack and decent skill and speed, well, compared to some of the other archers we've seen. But with archers, I just don't like how shaky their hit rates can be, as I'm pretty sure I've pointed that out earlier as well, but their hit rates are just a huge problem for them in this game. Alright, so let's have Jenny heal May, because May took a lot of damage from that. I gave Jenny the shield so Jenny didn't get killed, but then May became the target because her defense was the next lowest. Here, actually, how do they... Alright, their levels are about equal. Let's have... Let's have Bowie attack with fire, and then I can use lightning... Or, not lightning, thunder on May. To finish this guy off. Just like that. The RNG at least appears to be on our side so far, which is good, but I'm not sure how long that'll last. Alright, so I don't want to kill this guy yet. So I guess I'll use fire to weaken him a bit. But then the reason I didn't want him dead is because Plenitude actually has no HP cost, which honestly makes it a bit OP. But at the moment, we could use the extra health. So guaranteed hit, free heal, pretty useful. Admittedly, it's not a very large heal, just because Celica didn't leave much health for Saber to steal, but that's fine for now. Again, it pretty much just mattered that we healed him up a bit more so that he's not as screwed if he gets attacked. Although at the moment he's out of range, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, basically the only way Valbar dies in this chapter is if you let him get completely beat up. Also, I think Barth might pose a threat to him, but I don't think I've ever had Barth survive long enough for it to matter, or for Valbar to actually attack him. Alright, so now it's just two of the regular brigands and Barth. Here, let's just use recover on Saber to heal him up. And then let's see, Bowie and Mace have the same level, which is good. I want to try to keep them roughly even. Although, if anything, I do want May to be ahead instead of Bowie, because May promotes a level or two later than Bowie. Don't really know why, that's just the way the game is. So I do want to keep them roughly equal, but if anything, May being slightly ahead as she is right now is good. just because that way, assuming they both continue to grow at roughly the same rate, ideally they'll be able to promote at about the same time. Notwithstanding the, not counting the RNG thing, I'll be doing with them, but we can address that when we get the opportunity to promote someone. Alright, so Barth is a fair bit faster than some of the units we've been fighting, and Thunder has a higher weight than... Wow, that's bad luck. Thunder has a higher weight than Fire, so with that, May's speed actually gets reduced to 4, whereas Barth has 6, so we can't double him with May, which is really unfortunate, because ideally we want to be able to kill him quickly, and magic is our best chance to do so, because A, his resistance is poorer, and B, it doesn't matter if he's on supplies. Oh, sure. Leon can hit a 34% chance, but May can't hit a 70? That's a bit weird. But then it is Echoes, which is heavily based with Gaiden. There we go. And both had some brutal RNG from... Well, I've experienced and we've seen some of Echoes' brutal RNG, but I've never actually played Gaiden, so I can't really speak to that. How much range do you... Oh, right, you have 4 range because Iron Bow is 1 to 3, and then you've got bow range plus 1. I guess I'll have Bowie work his way over to deal with... or to try to attack Barth from a distance. And it's actually looking like Valbar is going to be able to attack... Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. Barth will leave and attack people. Oh, wow. Valbar totally has this. I could leave this to Valbar and be just fine, but I'm not going to. Although I might not even get a choice. I think Valbar can kill him now. 14, 6... Yeah! That's... I didn't even get a choice. Okay. So unfortunately I lose the boss EXP, but that is the end of this fight. Well, you didn't even really control that much of the sea from what I know of. Like, just judging from the map that you can see in Awakening, and actually what I'm using as the backdrop for these videos, the continent of Valentia, which eventually goes on to be Valm in Awakening, is basically surrounded by ocean, and he's only in a small section here, so... Alright, but now I'm not going to make the mistake I made with Forsyth, and I'm going to go into the Pirate Fortress here to pick up some items that I'll eventually be able to sell, and then I can also pick up... Oops, wrong button. Or wrong thing to select. And then I could also pick up some allies. Because, again, as far as I understand it, as long as we keep them alive, we can recruit Valbar, Leon, and everyone else.
You really saved my bacon back there.
Oh, shut up, Valbar. You were completely fine.
My family can finally rest. Right. Sorry. Got a little emotional there for a second. So, hey, is there anything I can do to thank you? I'll be honest, I'm not good at much besides cracking skulls. But if you need skulls cracked, I'm your man. What do you say?
Alright, so that's Valvar.
With them, old friend? Well, they'd better make room, because I go where you go. No complaints about that, right? Everybody on the same page? Great.
I like how after he says that, I still have the option to say, no, I don't want to recruit him.
Up with this lot, Valbar? Interesting. Well, it's your call. I don't have a preference either way. Oh, but let me ask you one question. Do you have Seraphim magic? If not, then you'd best stay clear of the Seabound Shrine. Necro dragons are the one thing I absolutely refuse to tangle with.
You know, you say that, but I'm still able to use you for that fight.
Obviously. I go where you go. That's the deal. And I don't care who doesn't like it.
And I just go wherever the money flows like wine.
You jokers are a couple of real class acts. You ever stop to think that maybe you're being rude to the priestess? She's on a holy mission to, a mission of... It's important, okay?
It's all right, Belbar. They're welcome to come along if they like. It's an honor and a pleasure to have such capable company. They've both proven their skill, and can be rather amusing to boot. So I
I feel like that should be an insult, but Celica means it as a compliment, I think.
Lady. We should be the ones thanking you.
My, that was some praise. I thought I'd give at least 50%, but now you get all of it.
Well, actually, that's more or less determined by whether or not the RNG decides to let me actually use you well. Alright, now, there are a few things we can pick up in the treasure vault, I think, but I don't remember what. Oh, right, I think if we talk to these guys, we get some rewards.
We owe you our freedom. Zophian pirate scum ride the sea like they owns it. But what's our emperor do? Not a damn thing. Guess his precious war's all he cares about. Just what kind of man's he become anyway?
That'll be touched on a lot more in depth
Yes,
later.
boy. Regel's Emperor Rudolph was as fine a crown prince as you could desire. But since ascending to the throne, well, something has certainly changed. Still, I continue to place my faith in him, as must we all.
You're going to the Seabound Shrine, eh, Priestess?
Probably.
I've heard tale of a wondrous treasure that sleeps there. But while I like a bit of coin as much as the next, I'd urge you to reconsider. For a necro-dragon filled with deadly purpose is said to haunt that place. Steel won't even tickle its hide. They say it scoffs at all but seraphim magic.
Well, I'm not sure scoffs is quite the right word, but its defenses are certainly quite high. Also, that's a steel sword. That'll be useful. Ram wine, which will be nice to sell. And a cog for the turn wheel, which is fantastic. Because I get the feeling we might need it at some point coming up. And I thought there was... Oh yeah, there's the golden apple here. I was gonna say, I thought there was something else in here, but it doesn't really look like it. Nothing on the ceilings? Nothing over here? Nope. Alright. Then we're off. Oh, hang on. First, I'm gonna do the inventory management that I really should have done earlier. Alright. Okay. Let's check out how Celica and Kamui's speeds compare. Alright, so... Kamui has the better speed, so I'll give him the steel sword. And then I'll go over to... jeez. Just... bottom screen was getting me confused as to where in that inventory I was. And then I'll give Celica the iron sword. This is just so that we've got our items better distributed. And then I don't think I have another shield that's usable right now. Yeah, I don't have another shield and I don't have any lances yet, so I don't really have anything for Valbar at the moment. However, I think I can give him some provisions. I guess we'll give him... he has 30 max health. May as well give him sausage or... Okay. Yeah, just something so that I can use it mid-battle to heal him up. Alright. Now I think this is the one where we fight the Cantor. So, if you've been... or if you haven't seen Echo's gameplay or Gaiden gameplay before, this is a Cantor. Now, on their own, they're not that big of a problem, but that's the thing. A Cantor is never alone because of its Conjure ability. So, with Conjure, it'll basically be summoning terrors to attack us every second or third turn or so, just depending on what the AI decides to do. It also has an attacking spell, and some of the Cantors can have really, really powerful magic, but most of them will usually spend their turns summoning terrors instead of directly attacking us. So, on the one hand, that means usually we don't have to worry too much about their attack area, but on the other hand, that means you have a ton of terrors to deal with. Now, this one is relatively in the open compared to some of the ones that we'll eventually have to deal with, but Cantors basically aren't going away for the entirety of Celica's route. I don't think Alm deals with very many Cantors. He might have one or two near the late game, Or I think maybe he has to deal with one in Nui Baba's abode, where you're going to fight Nui Baba. We'll get to her later in Act
What's going on here?
Act 4 because she's in Act 4 because she's in Regel.
Serving you up on a platter will earn me
But yeah, so
promotion with
Cantors are basically constant in Celica's route. They will be here basically the entire game.
Come with me. Are you out of your mind, old man? We're in a hurry here and you're in our way. So would you kindly get out of it?
Impudent child! Such a glib tongue will earn you nothing but pain.
Do you honestly plan to take us on all by yourself?
Wait a second. Is he? Oh no. Watch out, everyone. He's a cantor. He means to summon terrors to fight for him.
He means to summon... Wait, what?
Alright, so... Oh, I should mention this as well. The terrorist that a given cantor summons changes depending on basically which cantor it is. So, this one will just summon the basic terrorist. I don't remember what specifically their class is called, but he summons the weakest. We'll find ones that summon... I'm sorry, I'm blanking on all the terror class names right now. But there's ones that summon moguls, there's ones that summon... these are called revenants. The first few will have to... Ooh. Now, unfortunately, these terrors do have quite a lot of health, so we're going to have a bit of trouble cutting through them easily. Now, I think we're going to have Jenny heal Valbar here just to make sure we're not... Oh, dear. Hold on. There we go. So, sorry about that, but it's back now. Everything's fine. More or less. Alright, so Valbar should be able to kill this terror in this attack, so that's the end of that terror. Now, hopefully we don't get the Cantor to summon more on this turn. Please don't. Ah, there it is. Okay, it only summoned 3, so it's not really that big a deal, fortunately.
Let's go.
Again, this Cantor is just going to summon terrors until he dies, so we want him dead pretty soon, but these terrors get in the way, which makes things less pleasant. Alright, so let's take advantage of how the AI usually functions and have Valbar actually get in range of the Cantor and just attack some of his terrors. And then let's have Kamui come in and finish him off. Now with the Steel Sword, he'll be doing... Oh. Wow, crits immediately. Because of course he does.
Alright, bottoms up! Glad I got you with me.
Okay. Yeah, looking at the combat forecast with Celica, who's actually one of our better units, we don't want to do that. And then, because he's on a supplies tile, that doesn't make this any easier for us. So let's just bring in pretty much every long-range unit we have and get ready for a bit of a fight here. Because even though the Cantor won't attack us usually on his turn, he'll still counterattack if we attack him, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. Here, let's just put Saber there and have Celica here as well. Ooh, I completely blanked for a second that we can use Celica to get this kill. So let's do that. Ideally, we want to have Seraphins by the end of this fight, and I'm hoping she learns it at level 4, but I don't remember. Alright, so this terror will come at us here. Kamui is able to almost kill it in one round. Okay, cool. No more terrors were summoned. This is our chance. So what we want to do is we want to deal as much damage as possible so that this guy doesn't heal up. And you know, I think I am going to actually turn wheel that. Just to try to get some better RNG here.
I'll handle this.
And then the Golden Dagger, I guess we can. It's a decent chunk of damage if we could hit both attacks, but we probably won't, which is the problem. Okay, there's one hit. There's Miasma, which hurts a lot. And we missed the second, which I was assuming we would. Can we get... Okay, we can't get Leon in range to attack the Cantor, but we can use him to apparently crit the terror in front of it. This game is so weird with its RNG. Like, I'm used to Awakening and Fates because, as I mentioned earlier, those are the ones I've played those are the two Fire Emblem games I've played the most. So having this game's RNG, it's just so strange at times. Okay, Bowie does no damage. That's not good. So let's have May take a chunk out of him then. There's 1 hit and 2. Okay. So we just need to be able to kill this guy, which is going to be a bit hard because he's just got a lot of evasion. Ugh. Iron Sword wouldn't be terrible. Here. I'm thinking between the two of them, I can get Kamui and Celica to both hit at least 1 sword attack. So let's try it. Okay, missed the first. Hit the second. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Get yourself healed already.
Now, let's have Celica do it. Come on, just hit. Okay, don't... Come on, hit, hit, hit. Yes, there we go. And that's actually ideal, because I wanted Celica to be able to get the boss EXP. Please get Seraphim, please get Seraphim. That would be very, very nice to get right now. Ooh, and a decent level. Seraphim? Oh, that could be a problem. But we got the Fruit of Life, which is just a nice way to get some health.
That was a close call. Is everyone alright?
Okay, so. Then I think we just have some conversation about,
Milady, what was that all about?
perhaps the Seabound Shrine.
Talking about serving
Again.
you up or some such?
I don't know, Bowie. But he was different from the others who have come after me. And I fear he won't be the last. So we'd best be extra careful moving forward.
Yeah, definitely not the last. I mean, eventually we'll have Jeddah coming to try to kill us. And that's not pleasant at all. Okay, so I think we're gonna fight the Necro Dragon and then just deal with the other 2 map fights. And then I think at the beginning of the next episode we're gonna go into the Seabound Shrine. I don't want to spend the time exploring that right now. I'd like to try to advance the story a bit further if possible before dealing with all that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, Priestess! Did you forget our little chat about staying clear of the Seabound Shrine? Because this is not staying clear. This is the exact opposite of staying clear.
Didn't forget,
I'm
just
sorry,
don't
did
care.
we discuss that? I must have been preoccupied. What if there's something of use here? Surely you would want to... Oh, I remember now. You're scared of necro dragons, aren't you, Kamui? How careless of me. It completely slipped my mind.
Slipped your mind? That's it. I'm waiting on the boat.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Actually...
Ah! It's here!
Well, it is, but unlike Kamui's freaking... Kamui completely freaking out, the Necro Dragon won't actually attack us until we get in range of it. Now, this is perhaps one of our more dangerous fights so far because he's got the Necro Dragon has a very high value for both its defense and resistance. So we're gonna have to be pretty careful, especially because we don't have Seraphim. Unless maybe we can change that. So we did just pick up the golden apple in the last map, so let's eat it and ideally we'll pick up Seraphim or be able to pick it up during this fight.
I could have sworn I felt something.
Yes, there we go. Seraphim. Okay, we're completely fine now. That actually literally solves all our problems because Seraphim is super, super strong against terrors. It basically makes almost any terror get one shot. And that includes Necro Dragons. So, 1 or 2 shot for the Necro Dragon just because it has a lot of health, and we should be fine. So, we also got an item that gives extra max HP. Let's see. Who do I want to give that to? You know, I think I'm just gonna save that for now. And speaking of, I'm going to save the game. And let's go.
Goodness, what a horrifying creature.
Oh, that's right. If Celica has Seraphim, she has a little quote about it.
May its light guide your lost soul on to slumber eternal.
So now it's just giving us the little blurb about weapon effectiveness. So blessed weapons are good against terrors, bows are good against flyers. The Rider's Bane we picked up a couple episodes ago on Alm's Route is good against cavalry. Rapiers are also good against cavalry as well as armor. That sort of thing. If you've played Fire Emblem games before, you probably know most of these already, with the possible exception of terrors, just because though there are things like Risen in Awakening that are pretty much the same thing, I don't think terrors in this form appear in any other game. Although I could be completely wrong, just because I haven't played that much of other games, so I could be completely wrong there. Alright, so we're gonna draw out the Necro Dragon using Valbar because he's got the highest defense. And then we're basically gonna dogpile it. There's only one of it, and there's a ton of us, so even though we don't do that much damage, we can basically use the same strategy we used against Desai to gradually kill this thing. Unfortunately, the Necro Dragon is a lot faster than Valbar, so it will double us. However, we got lucky and it missed both attacks because we're in the forest tile. The one-time terrain effects work for us. So let's check the damage on Seraphim and see how much we need to get it lower. Okay, so if we can get it to 20 health, we're fine. However, I doubt we can get it to 20 health. But it also counts as a flyer, because obviously it's a giant flying dragon. So that means Leon can deal some extra damage as well. So that's good, because that gets us closer to the amount of damage we need this thing to take. And unfortunately, because as I pointed out, its defenses are ridiculous for this stage of the game, we're going to have some problems here. Yeah, Saber with the Golden Dagger only deals 1 damage per attack. Valbar does 2 damage on his 1 attack, but potentially takes 6 damage in return. Although it appears the RNG is on his side, avoiding 3 out of 4 on a 40% chance. Alright, let's get in range of Maid to get the support bonuses, and wow, that's unfortunate. Actually, do we have enough speed to double with fire? Nope. Okay, that's not nice. What, does fire have weight of 3 or something? Yeah, 3 weight, that's really not fortunate at all. Best case, we would have been able to double with fire and deal the extra damage, but we can't. Whatever. Okay, so I think we're also going to use Nosferatu just to try to chip in damage, and because we don't really need anyone to heal. Alright, RNG is mostly on our side so far.
I feel calmer, like I can see what the enemy is planning.
Why does so many characters have quotes based on that? Oh, now we get invoked, after she's already used her turn. That's a bit unfortunate, because summoning some soldiers to distract this thing would have been pretty useful. But yeah, why is it that so many characters have quotes about, or have level up quotes about being able to read the enemy? Like, is it that big of a thing? I feel like there's something I'm missing to sort of explain that. I might actually want to... Yeah, I think I am going to use the turn wheel on that, because I need to do enough damage for Celica to be able to get the kills. So then, Saber is pretty much guaranteed to hit both attacks because he's got that 95% chance. Ooh, a crit! That's actually really good because that puts us a lot closer. And then we take 11 damage, but that's relatively fine. Okay, we missed the second attack on a 5% chance to miss, because I guess that's sort of how it levels out. But with that, ooh, it actually does... I think we do still have to hit both hits, but it is an 80% chance. Ideally, we'll be able to hit the second one. I don't care how much damage we're taking, because it's not going to matter. There we go. Okay, so... Unless I've done my math completely wrong, in which case I'm going to turn wheel, Seraphim can now one-shot the remainder of this Necro Dragon's health, just like that. So yeah, for perspective, Celica just did as much damage in 1 attack as the entire rest of the party did in pretty much all of their attacks. And in fact, she actually did a bit more damage than that. So we are going to send the Blessed Ring to the convoy. The Blessed Ring is pretty useful because it gives HP regen. Although, most rings in this game, I think it might even be all of them, provide that effect anyways. So it's actually the worst ring you can get, as far as I know, because all it does is that HP regen. Whereas pretty much any other ring in the game will offer up an additional status effect, an additional skill, whatever it may be. Alright, so let's continue on and take out these pirates. Alright, so let's jump right back into fighting these pirates. 4th pirate raid. Now, like pretty much all the other pirate raids, we can basically just bottleneck them using the bridge here and wall them off using one of our tankier units and be completely fine. But there is an archer that we're going to have to be careful of, so we're going to want to kill him first, probably. Or, well, actually it looks like there's 2 archers. We're going to want to deal with the archers first, but we don't necessarily need to worry about them immediately. Like, we can have Valbar, which will probably be the unit I use for the bottleneck, tank an archer shot or 2, just because the archers probably won't do that much to him. Because, again, he has a very high defense stat. But then we are going to want to kill off the other archers relatively quickly so that we don't have to worry about taking arrows on our other units that aren't as tanky. So for now, let's just get our units nearby.
Ready anytime.
And we'll have a turn. So yeah, the archer is just gonna shoot at us a few times. Probably won't do much, especially with this game's RNG making it so that everything misses. But then, we've got the rest of the combats to deal with. Valbar actually appears to have the same amount of speed as all these other units, which kind of makes it a bit annoying for trying to kill some of these brigands, just because it makes it so that we don't do as much damage. But then Leon is actually able to deal most of that archer's health in damage in one attack. Problem is, it doesn't look like we have anyone else who's able to get in range just yet. If we use Nosferatu, we can get the kill on the first one, and then have Valvar move in, and then from there we can use one of our mages to attack from afar. So yeah, let's have Valvar attack here. That'll just get him out of the way and deal some damage to this first one. Hopefully it doesn't switch to retreat, because that would make things a bit tedious, just because then we'll have to chase him down. And then from there we just use Thunder to kill this archer, and oh dear. That's a bit annoying. So a bit of bad RNG in that we missed our first attack, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't think we're in range of the other archer.
Evading attacks is easy when you can see what's coming.
I feel like that has to become a meme, if it hasn't already. It just seems like the sort of thing that would be on, like, the roll safe meme or something. Whatever. So, I don't think we can attack anyone with Mei right now, so we'll just get everyone close and end the turn. Okay, good. This one is still attacking, which means we'll be able to kill it pretty easily next turn. And Valbar gets a level. That's nice. Ooh, and a pretty good level, too. Actually, yes, I am Valbar. I expected a pretty bad level. Just because this game's RNG is not kind. Alright. I think we're gonna use Leon to take out this guy here that was super weakened. That way we can have someone like Valbar move in to attack up close.
Brute force alone won't get you anywhere.
Alright, let's see here. So we can have Valbar. Ooh, Valbar actually doubles this guy now because he got that point in speed. That's right, in this game you only need 1 point of speed above your opponent to get a double. Oh, and the damage we gained means we get the kill. That's actually really, really good for us right now, because that makes it so Valbar can fight through these enemies a lot more easily. Although, unfortunately, now we've got a ton of mercenaries instead of these brigands, so the one brigand left will be able to double, but the mercenaries we can't. Alright.
I'm good to go.
Now, I am a bit concerned about that archer. So I think I'm going to use Recover on Bowie to heal him back up. And then I think I might just leave everyone else out of range for now so that no one gets hurt. Yeah, like this, I think. And then we'll just end the turn. The archer is attacking in melee range. What? What is this AI? Oh, and we get the crit. Alright, so I guess that means we don't have to worry about the archer anymore. I'm pretty sure the archer would have been dead either way, because it looks like we did 12 damage on one hit. We would have gotten the double, and we had, and it had 24 health. But yeah, then, even the boss can't do any significant damage to us. Alright, so I think I'm gonna have May try to use fire to kill... Okay, maybe not. I was gonna have May use fire to kill the boss, but it doesn't look like she's got enough speed to double him. So I guess we'll start with Thunder on Bowie to get some... Or just crit immediately and get the kill. I guess that works. Jeez, I come up with these strategies on how to tier my attacks so that I kill the enemy I'm trying to kill. And then someone just gets a crit and none of it matters. But whatever. So Valbar can continue blocking off these mercenaries pretty completely. They will do 2 damage to him on each of their turns, but that won't really matter. Let's see, I think we want to have Kamui get out of the way, and then have Leon attack one of these mercenaries to weaken him. I don't think Valbar will be able to kill that one next turn if it does attack us. Yeah, no, Valbar did 11 damage to them, so we won't be able to get that kill. But we can have Jenny come in and use Recover to heal him up, just because even though Valbar is pretty tanky, and notwithstanding the enemy getting like 3 or 4 crits in a row, he's completely fine. That doesn't mean we want to leave him low on health. So now we'll use May to try to kill one of these mercenaries. There we go. And that gets her a level. Let's see what she gets. Attack, speed, and luck. Not bad.
Is Mel pulling strings for me, or what?
The nice thing about magic is, because all its hit rates are fixed, you don't need to worry about skill. So even though May has a very, very low skill stat, it doesn't even matter. Because her hit rate is determined by just the spell and any support bonuses. Oh, wow, seriously? Well, okay, I guess it's a good thing I healed then. Although it doesn't appear to have really mattered. And then let's have Valbar finish this guy off. And then from here we've just got 2 units left to kill. So let's start by having May come over here and use fire to... Let's use fire to kill the brigand, then we can send someone else in to deal with the mercenary.
I won!
Alright.
Impressive as ever.
Then we can have Leon attack the mercenary using his bow. Oh, that's unfortunate. Not quite sure if that's worth turn wheeling or not. Oof, it also doesn't look like Bowie does very well against this guy. And no one else can get in range. Unless, what if I were to use Nosferatu? Let's see, that takes him down to 15. And then Bowie deals just enough damage to get him down to 14 or 13. Nope, that won't do it. Yeah, I think I am going to turn wheel that. Just to make it easier for us to get this kill. And then I'm going to do something different to try to change it so that the RNG plays out differently. That's unfortunate that we missed, but if Leon hits, it won't matter. And in any case, we still have a couple uses of the turn wheel left. Oh, jeez.
Ready anytime.
At least now we can use Thunder. But yeah, I think I am going to turn wheel again. Oops. And again, because I meant to go back a bit further than that. Whatever.
I'm ready for anything.
Alright, let's just move someone randomly.
Alright, I'll handle.
Just trying to basically get the game to not give me the same RNG results. And then let's use Nosferatu and hope we get a hit. Aww. Alright, that's fine for now. We just need to hit with our other attack. Oh. Good grief.
I'll handle this myself.
Not worth using the turn wheel again, I'm thinking, so I'll just let it play out. But yeah, I'm thinking May is about to take a lot of damage. Oh no, Jenny. Okay. Hopefully we hit Nosferatu this time. There we go. Okay, so Jenny doesn't lose nearly as much health as she would have. And now she gets swap, which will be useful. Alright, who do I want to get this kill with? I think I'll go with Bowie. So let's go over here and use fire, which is more accurate than thunder, and so we'll of course miss. Oh no, we actually hit for once. That's good. Because this mercenary gave us a lot of trouble just dodging everything. And that's it for this fight. Balbar's fatigued, but luckily between map fights it doesn't even matter. And then let's off to the last one. Now, this one, Valbar can't do nearly as much on, because this one isn't really a pirate raid, it's a ton of Arcanists, which is really not pleasant to fight at all. So, normally you would want to bottleneck them, in a map like this, normally it's useful to bottleneck them to limit who can attack who by putting a unit on one of the bridges, but in this situation I almost feel like that's a bit too dangerous, just because all of them are going to be using some pretty dangerous magic on us. I mean, it's basically the equivalent of a fire spell, but at the same time, it's, what is this, 7 or 8 of them? So we do need to be pretty careful. Units like May and Jenny are going to be very useful here because they have very high resistance, which means they take basically no damage from anything these guys throw at them. So I think with that in mind, I'm going to have Jenny come over here and probably not use Invoke because that would give me a bit of trouble. And then I can use Thunder to weaken one of these Arcanists. Now, the biggest... Ooh, a crit. That's lucky. That actually solves the problem I was about to mention. So, the biggest problem with fighting multiple Arcanists is that Arcanists work similarly to Clerics, except they get better offensive magic. So, where Jenny gets Nosferatu in Recover, these guys get Miasma in Recover. So, they're able to heal each other. And they will heal each other. So basically, if we leave one alive, their friends will just get into this big healing chain, which can be useful at times if we're trying to manipulate the game's AI so that we don't have to deal with a ton of attacks coming our way. But at the same time, it's also not very good because it makes it a lot harder to kill a given Arcanist. We'll run into some more of these ridiculous... We'll run into some more ridiculous chains of healing later on, but this is perhaps the first instance where it comes up. But yeah, as you see, neither of them really do any damage to each other, which is why Jenny is pretty useful to tank on this map. Granted, she doesn't do that much damage in return, but she doesn't take any damage in return, which is the important thing here. Now, I am a bit worried about May's health just because she deals damage to herself as she's attacking, which is really the biggest problem of the mage class in this game. But yeah, this is, as I said, they're going to heal each other now. Oh, that's right, okay, never mind, I forgot that I'd given May the Blessed Ring, so she'll be able to heal up on her own between turns. And that actually means I can afford to use fire on this guy this turn, and still have negated some of the damage we took last turn. Wow, okay, action camera was a bit weird there for a second. Just with the remaining effects from the Miasma spell mixing with the action camera. No, but it was once again a bad level up. I'm starting to notice a trend here, I say as if I hadn't already known that level ups in this game were bad. Alright, so we're going to use Leon to weaken this guy. The main thing is we just ideally want to be able to stop them from beating us up repeatedly. So, to do this, it's best if we keep them busy using some of our other units. Now, Jenny, again, can't really do much damage to these guys using Nosferatu, but it's a free spell to cast, so I can afford to do it pretty effortlessly. And she also takes only 1 damage in return. So the goal here is to just weaken, or is to get these guys weakened enough that we can kill them without any problem. Alright, I'm thinking Kamui being here is a waste of space, so then let's use Bowie's Thunder spell to try to get this kill. Or, we probably won't get the kill, but we can weaken him enough that one of our other units can. Ooh, a decent level up.
Easy when you can see what's coming.
And some speed for him, which is really good, because Bowie's speed isn't that great. Here, I think... Oh, actually, Saber is 1 EXP away from leveling up, so we're going to use him. Now, he is probably going to take a fair bit of damage from the Arcanist that had come over, presumably to heal this guy, but at the same time, we're also going to be able to heal some of that back with Plenitude. Ooh, that was actually a bit of a bad level up, but to be fair, his resistance starts off decent, so that'll be useful at the moment. Alright, so we're getting attacked again. I assumed they would heal, but it doesn't look like they're going to. But that's fine. Our extra point of attack means that we'll do more damage to them now. Oh, actually, it looks like Saber can tank them without too much trouble either. Oh wait, they are healing. Ugh, yeah, see? This is what I meant. They're just going to keep doing that until I kill them all. So let's use Leon to try to kill the one in the middle here, because it looks like if he hits both attacks, he'll get the kill. Like that. And he gets a level, that's nice. Oh, he's level 6, which means he might be able to promote to a sniper soon. The main advantage that a sniper class, or that the sniper class has over the archer class in this game is that it gives him extra attack range. So it makes it so that his bows get +2 range instead of +1, which is obviously useful. So we're going to take a bit of damage as we're trying to beat up this guy. But we can have Jenny come over to heal him, or heal up Bowie, so we're not really in that much danger.
Thanks for that.
Ooh, and she gets a level. What level is she now? 5. Okay.
I feel calmer, like I can see what the enemy is planning.
Now, getting points in attack for Jenny is also useful because Nosferatu has a might of 0, which means it's not really getting any additional attack. And I think also, her attack stat will play into, I think she gets Rescue later in the game? Rescue, or maybe it's Physic that she gets. Some of the other spells in this game have their range change based on the attack stat of the caster. So having additional attack on Jenny makes it so she can heal units farther away. So yeah, now this Arcanist can't attack, which is represented by its danger area going away, because now, if it were to use Miasma, it would kill itself, which it can't do. And then I think I'm going to have Saber use Plenitude here. It guarantees he'll hit, and it gives him a bit of extra health back, even though, again, since it's only 1 point of damage, or 1 health remaining on the enemy, he only heals 1 point of damage off. But health is health.
Leave the heavy lifting to me.
Alright. And then we just have our continued shenanigans over on this side of the map. Alright, I think we're going to use Fire here because Thunder just uses more health and he's going to heal anyway. But because Mei has such good resistance, it really doesn't matter what they throw at her. I'm almost more concerned about how much damage she deals to herself with her spells than I am about how much damage she takes from attacks. What is this game doing? I expected the game to have this Arcanist heal the other, but now I guess the first one is going to heal the second? Works for me, I guess. It makes it easier for me to pick off the rest of them. So now I'm going to use... here, what do I want to do? Alright, wait, oh, that wasn't quite the one I meant to attack. Depending on what range Kamui has, that might be worth turn wheeling. Oh no, we're fine. So then I think I'm going to have Mei take a step back and use Thunder, just so she's out of the danger area. Or, I shouldn't say that, out of range for this Arcanist to retaliate, is more accurate. And then I can have Kamui come in and try to get this kill. Now, he doesn't have nearly as high resistance, but luckily we get the hit, so it doesn't matter because he doesn't take an attack. And he gets a decent level.
I can get even stronger.
Alright, so that's it for the boat maps. Pretty much until endgame, I think.
Talk about a close one.
Alright, and then from there, I think we're going to go back and quickly explore the Seabound Shrine. I'm going to try to go straight for the main rewards here instead of spending time on all the different fights, but I might have to fight. But I'll probably have to fight because I'll probably get attacked by some of the enemies on the map. Like this terror over here, who I'm going to try to avoid and try not to lure by attacking one of those barrels. But yeah, another interesting thing about this game is that every time one of the protagonists enters a dungeon for the first time, they have a bit of dialogue about the place they're in. So, if I remember right, this room takes us to the Mila Shrine of this dungeon. Yep. And then if I talk to you, I think I can give you meat. Oops. Wrong button. I do that a lot because for some reason the game defaults to having the cursor on no for conversations like that. So I'll always end up clicking no by mistake. I've done that a few times trying to recruit units, which is unfortunate. So yeah, I think he gives us 30 silver marks. Nothing really substantial, but it does give us potentially a forge later on, because we don't really have any silver marks right now. And then he's just giving us a bit of information about where we're actually going to be headed next. Oh, that's right, there's a memory prison here. I think it's the first one, but I could be wrong. It's the first one that I'm aware of, I should say. There might be more that I simply don't know about. Yeah, none of us can change class, that's fine. I didn't really expect to. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the first available one in the game, but I'm not certain. Now, we do want to make sure we get these fountains now instead of saving them for later, because we won't be able to come back here after we complete Act 2. Alright, so it's HP, and I want to say... I don't think it's speed, I want to say... skill or something? Yeah, it's skill. Alright, so let's see, who needs some skill? Valbar's hit rate has been pretty good. I'm thinking I might give a point of skill to Leon just to improve his hit rate. Even though he's been more or less reliable for the most part so far. I don't really trust archers very much in this game, just because in my experience, even though they can do some nice damage and their long range makes them really useful for utility, that's just a bit risky because I find it pretty frequently that I'll miss an attack that I needed to hit. So I gave another points of HP to Jenny, which is important because the more health she has, the more damage she can take and the more healing she can do. And I think I'm going to give the other point of HP to May, just because that way she's able to cast more spells before I need to worry about her. And then after destroying that wall, it takes us on to the next area of interest here. Now, this is leading towards the area that the fisherman mentioned. I didn't really leave it up on the screen for very long because it's more or less already been mentioned a couple times, I think. But in this area, if you go all the way to the back of this section of the dungeon, there's a chest with a blessed sword in it. Now, that's pretty useful, especially on Celica's route, because you'll fight a ton of terrors.
I'll handle this myself.
Most dungeons in Celica's route that I'm aware of are filled with terrors. I think some of Duma Tower, which is quite a ways away. If you don't know what Duma's Tower is, because this is your first Echoes playthrough that you're watching, or just haven't watched another playthrough that far ahead, don't worry, we'll get there. It was shown briefly in the cutscene after Celica was getting ready to leave leave Novus Island, I think it's called. The island that we started on with the Priory. with Jeddah summoning, like, Duma's eye or something, and, like, having a conversation with it, it'll show up a ton more later, and will be pretty significant, but for now we don't really need to worry about it, because that's literally near the end of the game, and we're still in, only the second of 4 acts for Celica. Well, actually, Celica only really plays in 3 acts until Act 6, which is post-game, whereas Alm plays in... well, okay, I shouldn't say that. Celica's playable in 2, 3, 4, and I guess Act 5 is more or less just endgame. So, she's playable after a certain point there, whereas Alm is playable Acts 1, 3, 4, 5, and 5. But Act 5, I think Act 5 is somewhat less defined than the other acts, I want to say, just because, with most of the other acts, there's a very hard line, okay, this character goes off to do this, whereas Act 5, it's pretty much just one series of exploring a dungeon, and it's mostly with just Alm's party until you reach the point where you get Celica's party back. There is a reason that you lose control of Celica during Act 5, but we'll get into that. That's getting into spoilers that we don't really need to address right now. But yeah, let's just fight this other terror. Oh, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I'm thinking I might have, but I don't know. So, on the field, if you're able to attack to destroy boxes, if you attack an enemy that's roaming around, and, like, get them to, like, flinch, I guess you could almost say, you enter the battle with your party closer to theirs, and with the enemies having lost some of their health. I think it's normally about 10% health they start with, or they start having lost, but I don't know that for sure. Now, I do want to be a bit careful. Oh, a crit. I do want to be a bit careful here, because unlike in most of the boat maps we've been doing, fatigue actually does matter in dungeons, because if you get too fatigued, I think there was a text box about it back in the Thieves' Shrine in, like, the first part of this playthrough, but if you get too fatigued in a dungeon, or if any unit gets too fatigued, they'll start with less max health, which obviously is not good at all if you're trying to fight through a bunch of terrorists. Especially when the terrorists tend to respawn after you leave a room and come back, so we want to be careful about that. And then I think we're going to have Mei use... oh, actually, let's get a step closer and use Fire, just because it's more reliable. Ah. See, that's why I wanted to use the more reliable spell, but unfortunately it didn't matter. Let's use Seraphim here. It's actually more accurate, and it gives Celica an absurd attack against these terrorists.
I fight to protect what is dear.
But yeah, 29 damage. After the 3 health, it lost at the start of the fight because of the way we initiated this fight. That's enough to one-shot it, and I'm pretty sure Celica was able to double in that attack. So, as I said earlier, Seraphim is very, very powerful against terrorists. That's why using it against Necro Dragons is pretty much the best option. I think Alm gets 1 or 2 units that get Seraphim, whereas I think Mei will eventually learn Seraphim, and I'm pretty sure Jenny does as well. Ooh, we have at least 4... yeah, we have 4 units, all 1 attack away from getting a level. Alright, so... let's just keep going on. Oh dear, I forgot. I forgot that the gargoyles would wake up when I did that. So, you'll see that a couple times in some of the dungeons, where you just have gargoyles standing in place, and then if you run near them, or if you attack them, it'll start a fight against them. So the main thing about gargoyles is they don't normally have as much damage, but they have better defenses than most of the terrorists that you'll fight. Like, they don't have as much attack as any of the... well, okay, I shouldn't say any of the others, because Revenants are still garbage. But, they don't have as much attack as... what else this class? The Bone Walkers? But they do have in exchange, they have higher speed, they're highly mobile flyers, and they've got better defense, or better rounded defenses, which means they're not as screwed to a single spellcast. Oh, it looks like we've got the B support between May and Celica. Oh, yes, it's this
What's
one.
wrong, May? It's not like you to sigh so aggressively. Is there some way I can help?
Oh, it's nothing important. It's just... Well, I was wondering... Do you think girls should be all delicate and proper and junk?
Well, I suppose I think there's room for every girl to be herself.
Wait, you mean it? Oh, but you're super nice, so of course you'd say that. You don't count.
I don't count? Oh, enough of this, May. What's your real problem?
What? Okay, so here's the thing. Hypothetically, just hypothetically...
Not hypothetically.
Let's say there was someone I liked. Someone I'd always been close to, but who never saw me as a woman. I mean, in that case, I'd have to be the problem, right?
I don't... Oh. Oh! I don't think you need to worry, May. You're a wonderful woman. You're kind and cheerful, and you always encourage your friends to keep going. You're an absolute catch just the way you are. Have confidence in yourself.
Aw, jeez. I'm blushing. I mean, hypothetically. We're still just talking hypothetically, right?
Not at all.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Hey! Thanks, though. Really.
Okay, so I think I've mentioned this earlier, but May has a crush on Bowie, and I think they even eventually end up together. I don't remember, but so that's what that conversation was about. May doesn't come out and say it in this one, but I think there's some other supports where she gets a bit more explicit in that. Alright, so unfortunately Saber doesn't do that much to these terrors on his own, but he can at least trade with them more or less evenly. Ooh, and a point of attack. That'll be useful. It's also looking like Saber is getting close to being able to promote. Now let's shift back a bit. Oh, I can't attack the gargoyle. I was just misreading what it said. Alright, so now we've got the curved shot art on Leon, which I'm pretty sure I explained when we picked it up in Alm's Route, but it'll basically increase our accuracy. It gives us a slight increase in power, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so that's actually Leon able to promote. Now, I'm not going to promote him yet, but I will actually explain what I've got worked out for promoting units in this run. So, remember the RNG I used all the way back in Act 1, or all the way back in like the first episode even, just because that's the only instance it's come up. So, for that, I'll be using the same RNG, and I think I'm going to go like 0 to 3 or something, just so that I don't really need to worry that much about, just so that I don't need to put in too much extra effort, but just to make things a bit more interesting. So, whatever number it comes up with, that'll be the number of overworld fights that I have to... Oh, jeez, bad RNG in this. That'll be the number of overworld fights that I have to have that unit participate in before I'm able to promote them. And by overworld fights, I don't mean these fights here in the dungeons. I mean fights like the ones against the pirates on the boat levels that we've been running into for the majority of this episode. So, 0 to 3 for the RNG. Maybe I'll even go 4 or 5 later on, just depending on what unit it is. Because some classes are a lot harder to get EXP for than others. So, like, for May, even though she has a lot of EXP to gain before she can promote, she's at least very usable even without promoting. Whereas someone like Jenny, who promotes to a Saint at a rather high level, takes quite a bit of, or is honestly a bit difficult to promote in my opinion. Although it's a bit easier for Celica to promote her healer, just because on this route she doesn't have as many other guaranteed healers early on. Like, I'm pretty sure Celica herself eventually learns Recover. May will eventually get it. Oh, this is not good. Uh-oh. I think I have to turn wheel now.
Damn! Oh man, that's gonna bruise in the morning. Sorry, Celica. I have to fall back.
Okay, I think this is casual, but I'm not willing to figure that out, so I am gonna use the turn wheel in a second. So let's just skip the rest of the enemy turn, and I'm gonna turn wheel to redo this past turn. Alright, let's go back. Back to when I had May move, I'm thinking. Alright, this'll do.
I'm ready for anything.
Oh, this is actually the start of the fight. Alright. So I guess we're just doing this over then. So yeah, as you can see from this attack here, Seraphim is able to pretty much one-shot these Bone Walkers, which is good, because we need these things dead. And then let's have Valbar come in and attack this Terra. I'm going to have to be a bit more strategic on how I position my units, because the Gargoyles and the other Bone Walkers can be quite mobile.
Is anyone really surprised?
Not really, Valbar. You had a pretty typical level up.
I'll handle this.
Oh,
Ready anytime. I'll handle this myself.
so let's have Leon attack. Let's have him move back a bit and then use curved shot on the Gargoyle here. That'll get us a bit of extra damage where we normally would deal slightly less. And then we get a decent level up, back up to able to promote. Now, I already explained what I'm going to do for that, so I won't explain it again. The fight may have gotten wound back, but that doesn't mean my commentary has to. Alright. So unfortunately we missed that second attack. The RNG is just not with us in this particular fight. These gargoyles just want to stay alive. And then let's try... Oh, Nosferatu actually doesn't do that much to them. Here, let's put Leon there. It won't completely stop the gargoyle just because gargoyles have absurd mobility. But what we can do is we can go over here and use fire on one of these Bone Walkers. Or, yeah, I think that's the best choice. So if I have, I've got to be very careful here because I don't want May to die again. We don't want a repeat of Oboro. And if you don't get that reference, you might want to go back and watch some of my previous playthrough of a game on Fire Emblem Fridays with a Fire Emblem Fates Birthright randomizer. Let's just say, long story short, Oboro died a lot. That's pretty much all you need to know to get that reference. At one point, I think she died 3 levels in a row. Or 3 chapters, I should say. 3 chapters in a row. So, you know, I am good at Fire Emblem. Anyway. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, the RNG just really wants to keep these gargoyles alive. But at least May can only be attacked by 1 unit now, I think. But yeah, as I said, these Revenants are pretty much jokes. It's the other ones we've got to worry about.
I can get even stronger.
Bone Walkers aren't that powerful, but they are stronger than most other terrors. Or at least most of the other early game terrors, I should say. However, they don't have very good resistance, even though they've got good attack and decent defense. Oh, that's right, you can get attacked by the other gargoyle. Oh, that's not good. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Please not again. Please no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. God! Urgh. Seriously. That's... good God. Alright, turn wheel again, then. At least I don't have to go as far back this time, I think. Here, what did I... Alright. So, the key is to not put May in range of both gargoyles.
Ready anytime.
So what we're going to do, then, is we're going to have Boa use Thunder on this Bone Walker to try to weaken him. Or weaken it. Unfortunately, we can't quite get the kill with that attack alone. And then let's have May come over here, and I think we're going to use Thunder to try to deal the extra damage. Oh, Come on, game. Work with me here. At least this is the last fight before we can get to the Blessed Sword. But that's fine, I guess. It's not too completely crippling.
Apparently, I can get even stronger.
But then the Bone Walker will be able to attack us. Luckily, it doesn't double. Oh no, come on, magic health cost. Come on! I'm pretty sure that means the Gargoyle can kill May yet again. Oh god, seriously? No, 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 no. Ah! Oh, this is so annoying. Stupid terrors. Alright, that's it. Turn wheeling again. This time we're just gonna go back to the very start of the fight. Okay, so, first things first. This Gargoyle is going to die. No more mercy, just Seraphim. Die. Okay, so, now that that Gargoyle is dead and will not bother us again, I think we're gonna... Here, I'm gonna skip through this support because I already showed it earlier, on the first time, before I turn wheeled the first time. Alright, let's see. The Revenant can only do 3 damage to us, whereas the Bone Walker can do 7. So I think we're gonna use Thunder to try to kill this Bone Walker, because that seems to be the most dangerous threat right now. Oh my god, game. Seriously?
Leave it to me.
This is getting annoying.
Feeling good.
That's fine, I guess. We can have Leon try to get this kill. There we go. Alright, so once again he gets the ability to promote to a sniper. And the exact same level up.
Ready anytime.
Then we can have Bowie try to do some damage to these other units. But first let's have Nosferatu try to cripple this Revenant. This game's RNG is just not working with me right now.
I'll handle this.
Here, actually... How much damage does he do? 8 total, so that's not quite enough. I guess let's try it anyway. We'll use Thunder on this Bone Walker here. At this point, it's not even funny. Alright, so let's just have our 2 mercenaries block that off. Have Valbar get in range, hopefully to draw some attacks. And watch as May somehow gets herself killed again, I'm sure. Alright, luckily Saber can deal with these Revenants without any trouble.
Leave the heavy lifting to me.
And then here's the Bone Walker. Oof. 8 damage, that's not good. At least we get the kill on it.
Reliable, or what?
Well, for the most part, yes, but as of late, you seem to be dying a lot. Even though that's largely my fault.
Apparently, I can get even stronger.
Yes, you can, considering that you have yet to become a Dread Knight. Or Dread Fighter, sorry.
Almost gave me a heart attack.
I don't think I can really complain about that combat, just because it made it so we didn't take any damage either. Alright, now we use Recover to make sure May doesn't die. And then let's use Seraphim to deal with this Gargoyle, because screw these things. Yeah, can't wait until everyone else gets access to Seraphim, but I don't think all of our units get Seraphim. I'm pretty sure it's just Celica, May, and Jenny. Oh sure, now you crit. On the unit you could have killed easily either way. That's annoying. Whatever. Alright, so let's use... Yeah, let's just attack normally on this guy. Using Curved Shot will actually put us at a disadvantage because it means we lose out on the damage of the second attack. And then let's see. They're actually the same amount of EXP right now, so I guess we'll go with Kamui to try to get more EXP for him because he's a level behind.
Tough luck.
Oh yeah, so it's a good thing mercenaries are pretty good, because in this game you get a ton of them on Celica's route. You get Saber and Kamui, which is 2. You get the ability to promote Atlas to a mercenary if you want, which makes 3. You can get Dean, and you can also get Jenny, or not Jenny, sorry, Jessie, which makes 5 total. Potentially, that is. Again, with reclassing for Atlas, there's a ton of different choices, and then we also get the choice to either go for Sonya or Dean. I think Sonya starts with Excalibur, whereas Dean starts with a Brave Sword, but if we kill, or if we go the route where we get Sonya, we get Dean's Brave Sword for killing him, I think. But I'm not really sure which I'm going to do, actually. Oh, no, if I remember, there's actually some fountains in this room, which is nice because it gives us a little reward after tearing my hair out. Alright, I think it's experience and experience and resistance, I think. Now, normally I prefer to use the experience fountains whenever possible, but I think this time I'm going to go for resistance fountains, because our characters are of decent levels, and I'm not really in that much of a rush to promote them, whereas we could use some extra resistance on our units so as to not die to mages as easily. Alright, Valbar I know to avoid mages like the Plague already, so I feel like I don't really need to give him the resistance, because even though he's in desperate need of it, I already know to play around him in that way. Whereas I think I'm going to give Kamui a point or 2 in resistance. Oh, it only has 2 uses? Weird. I thought there was more than that. And then, I'm pretty sure they're linked, but I guess I can still check. Because if they aren't linked... Oh! Okay. I'm a moron. I thought they were linked. So I guess I can then use Fountain of Experience to level up Kamui. So that puts him on the same level as Saber.
I've got an eagle eye, or the enemies are lazy as hell.
And then I think I get a second use too, so... Let's see, May and Bowie. Bowie's actually starting to fall a bit behind here. I could also give it to Jenny to try to get towards her better healing skills, or spells. Besides that, I don't really have anyone else that really needs it that much. I could give it to Celica, but I don't think she'll get recover for a while because she basically just got Seraphim a few levels ago. So I guess let's go Bowie to try to catch him up. So that'll give him a free level.
I feel myself getting stronger lately.
Truthfully, that was a pretty bad level up, actually, but attack is good because it makes it so we do more damage, and hopefully won't get screwed by terrors again. But what we're about to find in this chest will help us a great deal with that, because this is the chest that has the Blessed Sword. Now, I normally give this straight to Kamui, just because I feel that Celica doesn't really need it, because she already has Seraphim to deal with, whatever terrors come her way, whereas Kamui doesn't really have a natural inbuilt way to deal with terrors easily, so I feel he benefits more from having the effectiveness against terrors. So then with that, we can just work our way back out. Alright, and then I think I'm going to leave it here for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like, comment, let me know what you thought. Let me know what other shenanigans you'd like to see me try. Let me know which of the two protagonists' parties you like more. Do you prefer the units in Alm's party, which has a ton of variability because the 4 or 5 villagers he gets can promote to, or the 4 villagers he gets can promote to pretty much anything to provide a really versatile, customized army? Or do you prefer the more specialized mix of mainly mages and mercenaries that Celica gets? Personally, I'd have to say I like Alm's party a bit more, just because I like, I feel that some of the villagers can be really, really good if used correctly. And then I like Delthea more than I like most of the mages on Celica's route. Like, I don't really like Bowie's usability that much, just because I feel May works better as an attacker. Sonya, I never really got behind using on my main account. Although, I do like that Celica gets a ton of Dread Fighters because they're really, really strong. So, I guess I would have to say I personally lean more towards Alm's route, or Alm's party, but I'm probably a bit in the middle. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day.